A week that saw KCCA FC drop 3 points in the Star Times Uganda Premier League for the second time at home this season. We'll bring to you everything as it unfolded at KCCA FC, that is everything about the highlights from the games that we played last week, and also everything about the build-up ahead of next week's games in the Stanbic Uganda Cup and the Star Times Uganda Premier League, the big one between KCCA FC and Vipers on Sunday at the MTN Omondi Stadium. But first, good evening. It's season 2, episode 21 of the KCCA FC TV show. My name is Magero Mwanje. You and I are walking this journey together. Now, to start it off with everything at KCCA FC that happened this week, definitely KCCA FC playing game day 21, that is of the Star Times Uganda Premier League, and that game being between KCCA FC and Bright Stars Football Club, that game being at MTN Omondi Stadium. Now, in this one, going into this, KCCA FC had just picked 3 points away from Onduparaka on Sunday. I mean, that game ending 1-0, courtesy of Sadat Anaku, the goal coming 12 minutes towards the end of that game. But KCCA FC going into in this one with 37 points, and all they had to do, that is the team KCCA FC winning this game and then going to 40 points. But I mean, fate had its own plans and KCCA FC dropped points. Going into this one, if the head-to-head had everything in favor of KCCA FC, because at home in the last 7 games between KCCA FC and Bright Stars, KCCA FC had won 5 games and both teams had shared spoils twice. And you just felt that maybe this was the game that Bright Stars had to finally pick their first win against KCCA FC at home, that is at Lukwago, and definitely that happened in that game. KCCA FC going into this one with some players that had returned in Dennis Iguma, who had missed the previous game, that is against Oduparaka because of suspension, returned to this one. And then Fillbert Obenchan was suspended for this one. He did not feature, and that's why we had the young man, that is Juro Hassan, featuring at right back. Mwanje was going for a back 3 in this one, a 3-4-3 system. Musa Ramadan in the heart of defense, and then Magambo at left back, and then Habadachai going for the wing back, that is on the left side, and the midfield going for Kezronchisto, who made his first start in a while, and then Dennis Iguma back in the team, and then Chigozi Samson plus Serada Steven, and then the focal men, that is Lukwago Charles and Anako Sadat. KCCA FC having a very good game in the first half in this one. You felt the team was really getting well, the passes really stringing in quite well, and the team really playing the game of football just like the usual KCCA FC way. But the first half ending in a stalemate with definitely a few chances, because one Sadat Anako rattled the woodwork in the first half with a powerful free kick, and then for the rebound, Peter Magambo missed connecting that one because it was a fraction of a second late. But then in the second half, the team kept on asking questions, that is KCCA FC, but then the visitors in Bright Stars had their own plans, because Gift Ali was introduced in this one to try to bring some agility in the game. And shortly when he had just come on in this game, Bright Stars picked the first goal, that was through a powerful free kick from a former player in Samuel Sekamate, scoring from a free kick and giving Bright Stars the lead. Shortly after he had scored, KCCA FC kept on asking questions, and then some changes were really rung by the interim manager, that is Mwanje, so bringing on a one Juma Balinya in this one to try to make sure KCCA FC would get that maybe an equalizer and also go for the winner. But then in this same game, Akwandana, who just came on from the bench, scored the second goal for Bright Stars, and it just seemed like it was over for KCCA FC, because even when the club kept asking questions, that is to the visitors in Bright Stars, they had all the responses to these questions. One Sadat Anaku going for a powerful free kick just to make sure get something, salvage something for KCCA FC on the day, maybe a consolation, but the shot stopper in Tamale for Bright Stars keeping that out. So the game ending 2-0, that is in favor of Bright Stars, and them picking their first win at the MTN Omondi Stadium. So that meant that KCCA FC could not push to 40 points as the plan was in heading into this game. So the club stays on 37 points, and that is after 21 games played in the Star Times Uganda Premier League with 6 losses at this point of the season. Something that really has questions around it, but we'll be talking about later on in the show. But after this game, we definitely caught up with the manager of KCCA FC, that is the interim manager, Mwanje, and this is what he had to say after this game.
The league is a marathon. We've lost today. Teams lose. But we still have that confidence of coming back and play because we still have many games to go. We need to, if we change our character and approach, I think we shall do it. We shall make it. The team played well first half. We played well, we possessed. We stretched them because we knew they had to be compact as usual. But we lacked that effectiveness in finishing, and it really caused us to lose this game. For me, Iguma played well, although he lost a few balls. He was doing that donkey work to win the balls and serve all the front players. Jurwa did his role despite losing this game, but he really played well. I can't blame so much, but I could only blame my attackers who didn't really be clinical tonight.
Now, well, you've heard it from the interim manager of KCCA FC, Mwanje, coming out to say that the character from the boys on the day was lacking. And definitely, if you go to watch this game, you go to feel that, I mean, that hunger to make sure KCCA FC would win this game really lacked in this one. So now also caught up with the fans. Now, you know, there is no sport without fans, especially for football. And after this game, the fans were really devastated, bitter, I should say, and they were really not happy about the result because KCCA FC losing at home twice in a season, it just doesn't happen very often. So here are the fans giving their take after this game.
Okusoka amanya gange nze isima musirikale chairman wa team North West Kawempe. Omupiira ogwolwa leero ensamba gye tugusambyemu. Nze njogeranga muwagizi siri wa technical, nze njogera bintu byaki bya buwagizi. Naye nze ku lwange omupiira coach yatukubisiza omupiira. Olw'ensonga adidde ba defender n'apakira ba defender n'apakira makati ku kisaawe noyinza striker gwe tulinawo nga sikola kinga simulaba bonna wadde bayita bbali. Okitegeera kalifa abawagizi ekisinza okunnuma wano erugogo mu kisaawe kyaffe twamanyira okola ki okuwangula omupiira mu kisaawe kyaffe erugogo. Kuba kati bakochi bonna tubadde ne Mutebi ne tubeera ne kati ne Mulebi Ekwaso naye nga tubadde tukimanyi nti we tugenda kwawe emipiira tukola ki gituwemu okugoba olw'ensonga nti ebisaawe by'okwawe bibeera bibi. Waliwo tugenda waliwo twagenda embalala nga enkuba etonye kiringa kiralo kyante nga kikola kitya naye wano erugogo tubadde tetusuulyanga omupiira wetuti na double sange eno tiimu y'amaanyi nesi y'amaanyi ku KCCA erina buli kimu ekikola ki ekyetaagisa. Naye kati Mulebi Ekwaso tiimu nga nze omuwagizi tubadde twamuwa simaba management ya Magambo etya oba yamutongoza oba aliwo nga acting simanyi, naye tubadde tumuwa ekitiibwa akalayika abadde ne tiimu yaffe okumala ebbanga. Naye kati kirayika nga tiimu emulemye okulonda, abasambi bamulemye okulonda, buli omu omusambisa mu namba gy'alina okukola ki gy'alina okusambiramu.
Omupiira gubadde mubi nnyo nti tuluzinze omupiira naye nga n'ekyaffe kye twamanyiira tattato oyo okusambako nga tetukiina yadde. Kwegamba otunuulidde omupiira nga nalabye line-up omupiira gugenda okutandika nga kumpi tulina abasambi abali forward minded nga bana. Ndabyeko okusookera ddala Anaku, nendabako Serwadda, Kigozi, naniye ndabye abasambi bana. Netunuulira abasambi otutandisiza bonna abasigadde abazanyi nga 7 nga bonna bali defensive nnyo. Kyokka nga ne Katebe bw'otunulayo waliyo Mazengo defensive, waliyo Kato kanga omuntu gwalaba nga ali Katebe asobola okukyusamu omupiira Balinya naye nga tebalinnya naye ojja kumusambisa 6 gyabadde asinga okukuba nga lusi okumukakatikako eno mu maaso mu 8 nga balaba basinga badde nga tebaliiwo.
Siri musanyufu ebadde mu kisaawe olunaku olwaleero tubadde ne puwa passing naddala ku ludda lw'abalabe baffe naddala baattacking baffe babadde babi nnyo omuli Kezironi buli lwafuna omupiira atunulira badifenda b'ekifo ky'okutunulira mu bastrika be okugabayo touch ezigenda mu maaso. Abadde asamba bubi nnyo first half n'ensuubira second half Mutenzi ajja kuba nga akirabye amugyeyo aleetera Iguma Balinya kuba bebadde ku bench. Wodda wano abadde asamba mukaga yaffe abadde asambye ddala bubi nnyo ali siro yejjako omupiira agwejjako mu siro nnyo ali nga baka fusire niyo ekyenkanidde awo. Twasambanga omupiira nga defensive sinnungi naye nga tuli babulabe nnyo ku attacking eri ku ludda lw'abalabe baffe era ekyali saawa zino ku Council. tusamba omupiira nenga tuzame mu hafu yaffe mule byekwasa ino kubanga aterezaamu mu ludda mu ngijandamu abasambi naddala abasambi abagenda mu maaso abataki mind nga bagirina obulungi betulina saawa zino akutte Serwadda n'amusa ku wingi ng'amenyeka nnyo okukima omupiira okutwalira okubanga agatta ku ttiimu ali mu maaso ne tulowooza nti ajja kumuwa obuvunaanyizibwa bwa second half amugambe agatte ku ttiimu ayingireko munda ne kigaana ne tuvula abasambi babiri okuli Achai wamu n'Ekigozi bombi nga beetomera bombi nga mu bafuna omupiira beetomera bombi ate n'okuba musambi w'omwera ayingireko mundamu ekisaayi n'abalemezera ku wingi bombi nga tena kibatuyamba kuba fasa paka second half nga wagira Ekigozi nga tena kibagatta ku ttiimu yaffe era kye kimu ekitukubisizza nze kyensaba nga nze omuwagizi management esalewo beetongoza mule byekwaso oba tufunira kocha omupya eno season yonfu eno season infu tetuna kye tugenda kola tetuna kigafuna batufuniye coach bamutongoze bamutere tiimu bana basambi abaliwo abakadde babayuwe basigaza abasambi batonotono abawuliza coach cyana akola cyana abagambi abagala Mutebi babagoye bagende ne Mutebi waabwe bote tumaye batusamba Mutebi oba tusamba ki okitegedde waliwo abasambi nga bagala Mutebi waba abasambi bagala mule byekwaso bwebuzi bwe tulina fawagizi fe tukiraba nze njoga muwagizi siri wa technical omutendesi alina akyalina obuzibu mukunda line up ye akendeze kuba defending midfielder abangi bateeka mu kisaawe abakendezeeko nga kasa timu yaffe ejja kuba omupiira gunadda tujja kubawo nekyosobola okukola kwali n'emipiira mingi egiri mu maaso egitulinze
kale omupiira nganze omuntu tegundabikidde bulungi simanyi Saturday ky'omutendesi kyagambye baana kusamba kubanga okupasinga omupiira okumala eddakiika 2 nakyo kibadde tekikyasoboka kwegamba ino CCA Council mutuufu gye tumanyidde ffe twamanyira
kuwangula entiimu y'amaanyi ate erina ssente tetwagala kusamba mupiira bakukubidde awaka wona ogyakwawo n'okola otya buli tiimu yonna omupiira gwonna eguwagira egugobera waayo kati obana kukubira awaka kati wona ogenda kwawo n'okola otya.
Mixed feelings from the fans. Some of them have already given up. They think that KCCFC cannot challenge for the league this season. Some of them having hope, saying the league is a marathon and we've got to challenge for the next 9 games. In the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, they've called it the 9 finals. That is up until June when the league ends. So that is it about the fans, and those are their opinions. We'll keep having them on the KCCFC TV show because their opinions really help the club to get better each and every day. So we're going to be going to a break. And when we return, we still have a lot more. That is the build-up ahead of next week's return leg game. That is the round of 16, the Stanbic Uganda Cup between KCCFC and Maroons Football Club at the MTN Omondi Stadium. A lot more after this break. Now welcome back from that break. It's the big KCCFC TV show. A reminder again, this season 2, episode 21. And just to take you back, we started the week with a win, a big win I should say, because the team traveled 10 hours, that is to Arua, to take on Oduparaka Football Club. That was last week on Sunday. The team definitely traveling on Friday night, getting to Arua on Saturday, and then having the final training session on Saturday, and then playing that game on Sunday amidst, some heavy, should I say, mild pour for that afternoon, and KCCFC grinding out that result against all odds, picking a 1-0 result against Oduparaka away at the Green Light Stadium, that is in Arua. KCCFC traveling for this game without Denis Iguma, who was suspended after picking up 3 yellow cards in this game, and also the return of a few players that had spent some time without playing. Players like Stefano Loro Mazengo, the Italian midfielder, featured on the team that is part of the squad for this game. Then Juma Balinya, former top scorer for the StarTimes Uganda Premier League about 2 seasons ago, has been out injured for some time, but also traveled with the team and was part of the squad. Both of them did not feature for this game, but at least they were in the squad that is for the 18-man squad. And KCCFC started this game with a lot of hunger, trying to push for that goal. Charles Ruanga missing a couple of chances in this one. Steven Serrado, who started on the right side, also coming up, almost getting that early goal for KCCFC early in the game. And also players like Samson Andrew Chigozi and Ewan Juro Hassan, who played quite a monster of a game for his age, and also for a player who has spent literally a year out of football. And you got to feel that KCCFC was just a minute or a second away from getting that maiden goal, that is against Oduparaka Football Club. And that did not happen in the first half. Definitely some changes being rung in the second half. Kez Ronchisto being introduced to this game, and then one Moses Aliro also coming on in this game and also later on substituted, plus also Musa and Hassan. Those are the changes that the Gaffer had to make on the day. And a Gift Ali starting in midfield, that is in the position that has always been filled by Dennis Iguma, who was suspended for this one. And also another highlight for the game, Fillbert Obenchan picking up the 3rd yellow card, and that meant that he was to miss the next game that happened also this week against Bright Stars Football Club.
Habati achaina kuvuga naleta kurosi mu boxi tachade nungi nnyo bwatyo mfumukama nitwanga sadata na kunaberanga atebye gole yo y'omusanvu ya season.
And just when you thought all hope was lost, in the 78th minute, Herbert Achai made a very good run down the left wing, crossed the ball to Steven Serrada, who was just at the edge of the 18-yard box. The teenager chested down the ball to Sadat Anaku, the former player of the KCCA FC Soccer Academy, who performed a stinging shot, a snapshot that meant KCCA FC would grab the first goal in this game on the 78th minute mark, and also giving us the winner into this one. So KCCA FC winning that game 1-0 at the Green Light Stadium, that is in Arua, and also the club picking 3 points and going to 37 points after 20 games. So Sadat Anaku getting his 7th goal in the Star Times Uganda Premier League this season. The boy is on song, and also that was his 8th goal in all competitions, because he's got 1 goal in the Stanbic Uganda Cup and also 7 in the league. So in case you missed it, you've got it here on the KCCA FC TV show live on Sanyuka TV.
That was Tony Chamira in goal and one against UPDF Kajiri. Everyone bagenda kwiranga bayisamu mpira. This is Capone. Kaleta omupira najja nakola ensobino Charles Lukwago. That was a costing mistake from the captain. Nene bajja ne bakuba muko wano. Chilua. Akata mpira shot okupata wano bwatyo mpira kubye. Ya bypass. Mukanga Charles Wanganga ateba timu ya AC Bila.
Which is actually more decent.
Yakosa omupira kabone vingi batafuja kukole soka eganye. 2 games bwatyo mtendesi ku mulundi kuno amtrust nze naberanga amwadde omupira kuno. Carbon living.
I think this is the best spell for Onduparaka. These last 2.
Ate buvanyuma lw'okwanga basembayo okusamba timu ya Kiso Giants. Mpira ogwo gwagwa emu ku emu wali ewakiso bakuye omupira wale save from Kajiri. Sadat Anaku looking for his 7th abadde akubye omupira mulungi nnyo Sadat Anaku.
Miles and miles away from Kampala. This is the shot you want to have at MTN Omondi Stadium, where you can capture that moment in memory and in vision forever.
Abadde azizzaako omupira golo badde tebakufunye bulungi omuvubuka Moses Aliro. Eno kawunta alina support ya Wax Alan Busobozi. Naku mpira muwanvu nyagezaako okwera nga anoonya bwatyo for the second time. Musadi ya timu ene ya KCCA Juma Balinya readies himself to come on.
It was the right call, I think, because Charles Lukwago got the ball fast.
Mupira kuze Habati achaina kuvuga naleta kurosi mu boxi tachade nungi nnyo bwatyo mfumukama nitwanga Sadat Anaku naberanga atebye gole yo y'omusanvu ya season. Cross badde nungi ne kujja mu boxi nateeka mu touch nungi nnyo Sadat Anaku naberanga akimaliriza. Onduparaka 0 KCCA goal emu. Anaku the scorer. That's it finger Peter. Good ball control Charles Wanga, but equally good save from Kajiri. Peter Mwamvu maybe would wish Onduparaka try to look for that equalizer, but they're having numbers in their half.
That last Charles Wanga Neymar's chance.
Babadde bakuba omupiira waliwo penalty appeal. Referee n'agamba nti nedda twali penalty appeal. Free kick. It's a free kick. Omupiira ne gubeera nga gugenze bugenzi bweru.
Now, still speaking everything about KCCA FC, this coming week we have the return leg that is in the round of 16. KCCA FC will host Maroons Football Club on Wednesday this week at 3:30 at the MTN Omondi Stadium, and definitely this is going to be the second leg after the first leg being played on Sunday today. And in this one, you get to feel that the coach will be using this as a precursor ahead of Sunday's game between KCCA FC and Vipers that will be still at the MTN Omondi Stadium. And if you look at the numbers ahead of this game, the head-to-head, both teams have played each other 13 times. That is Maroons and KCCA Football Club. And KCCA FC has won 9 times against Maroons Football Club, while Maroons Football Club has only won once. Both clubs have shared spoils twice. And then if you're to look at the goals between both of these clubs, Maroons has only scored 6 goals in the last 12 games against KCCA FC, while KCCA FC has scored 20 goals in the last 12 games against Maroons Football Club. So you get to think all the numbers, all the statistics are in favor of KCCA FC ahead of the return leg game on Wednesday, which the coach will also be using as a precursor ahead of game day 22, that is in the Star Times Uganda Premier League, between KCCA FC and Vipers at the MTN Omondi Stadium, the big ones. And just to give you more numbers and statistics ahead of this game between KCCA FC and Maroons, the last game between both clubs happening on the 4th of February 2020, KCCA FC winning this one 2-1, the game happening at Lugogo. And then before that, on the 22nd of October 2019, KCCA FC and Maroons, KCCA FC went and won the game away at Luzira at the Prison Grounds 3-1. You remember that is the game where John Odumegu scored his first goal for KCCA FC. You remember that Nigerian. And then on 4th May, still 2019, the year before last year, KCCA FC winning 6-1 against Maroons. This was the last game of the Star Times Uganda Premier League for that season, and KCCA FC won that title, and that was the 13th Uganda Premier League title. Imagine winning 6-1 on the last day of the season. A couple of players coming up to score in that one. And then on 1st December 2018, Maroons KCCA FC winning this one still at the Prison Grounds 1-0. And then 12th April 2018, Maroons KCCA FC, they shared spoils, that one ending 0-0. And the final one, that is 12th September 2017, KCCA FC at the MTN Omondi Stadium sharing spoils still with Maroons Football Club. So you get to feel the numbers are in favor of KCCA FC. It's a fixture that has been for goals. If you're to compare about the last 4 fixtures, at least a goal or 2 have to be scored in this fixture. So guys, a big game we have at the MTN Omondi Stadium this week. That is KCCA FC hosting Maroons Football Club. Both teams love playing, a very good game of football, and it's going to be in the Stanbic Uganda Cup. It's a round of 16, and just when you thought it's all over for the season, that is for KCCA FC, it's not over, because if KCCA FC win this game, and on aggregate they are better than Maroons, will be going to the quarterfinals of the Stanbic Uganda Cup, and who knows, we might be just winning our 11th Uganda Cup title for this season. So we got up with the manager of KCCA FC ahead of this one, and also some players, and this is their take ahead of this one.
We're expecting to face a team which is very strong too. Maroons has been disturbing us a lot, but if you want to win any trophy this season, we need to change, because my boys are lacking the character. We have players who really need to work on. The character is very low. Fighting spirit, the mentality was a bit down. So if we need to win a trophy this season, we need to change the approach and character of some players.
So we did not only catch up with the players of KCCA FC, we also caught up with the fans, and they say if things are not really working out well in the Star Times Uganda Premier League, can we just as a club grind out results on aggregate and progress up until the finals and win the 11th Uganda Cup? That is for KCCA FC, because we are the record holders for this cup. So here are the fans giving their expectations ahead of KCCA FC vs Maroons.
Omupiira gwa Uganda Cup tugenda kudda kugenda kukyalira Maroons. Maroons ebadde tuvonyavonya okumala ebbanga nga tugenda ekinene nnyo tukola maliri bwe tuva tumukubye tumukubanga kamuziro, naye ku tiimu yaffe mulebye kwaswa n'atanadda mu kufuna tiimu ye gy'alina kusambisa, era tukyabonaabona kuba kati omupiira gwa Uganda Cup kino ekikubo kya liigi kyo kyakoze eki, nze kulwaye ng'omuwagizi nze ndabanga ekyatuyise mu ngalo kiri wakati wa Viper ne URA. Kati kino ekikopo kya Uganda Cup kye tulina okulemerako ngaffe aba KCC, kuba naffe tulina ssente twagala tuvuganye ku kikopo. Tiimu ennene erina okuwangula buli kikopo. Tulina ebikopo bibiri, oba tewangudde liigi ewangula Uganda Cup. Kati mule byekwasa ebirowoozo abijje ku Uganda Premier League tukiteke ku Uganda Cup. Naye wanaalonda tiimu nga gy'alonze olwaleero, era Maroon egenda kutukubirayo. Egenda tukubirawo omupiira, nze naali muwadde obwesige, naye okusinza eno ndagyalondamu tiimu n'afuutika tiimu. Buli musambi amuteeka watalina kusambira, kati awunza amayi gakola kiga baganzigwamu naye tujja kusigala tuwagira tetulina kyakola.
Okusinziira ku kyaleero nze ng'omu sisuubira kyanjawulo nnyo. Watunulira abasambi nga Bright nga bakyali ku buvune mugume okunyweza midfield eyo ate kati essaawa zino tusigazaawo gift ate gift wuyo ali mu kisiibo kyeza amaanyi tajja kuba na mangi kutandika na mupiira kale sisuubira result y'amaanyi nnyo.
Tulizibe tusamba tukyasamba bwe tusakuja mu Malunzi nga tukyasamba kwa Malunzi timu y'amaanyi nzikira yaleetwa obuzibu nnyo nga tugenze Yeruzirera. Okujjako nga omutendesi akyusa mu ttiimu naddala Iguma okubanga amugye mu mukaga yaffe ali siro nnyo akwata omupiira ali siro nnyo webegata midfield ne Keziro ni yako akuba bisukula pasi ebyekisiro ebitatayamba ttiimu ng'alina okubanga atuyamba okubanga lizinga basweka balizinga omupiira tabalizinga mu mupiira yayisooka ali siro nga kasa wanaba kyusa mu ttiimu basweka bafubo balungi tusobola omupiira emaloni golo ng'emu ku 0 nitujja ndikuba golo 2 netulibanga tusobola kubanga tuyitamu.
Tunatukoze nnyo ewaayo tujja kukola maliri bwe tunatuze wano tujja kwekakaba abasambi bajja kwekakaba tubire nga tuwangula tuyitewo tudde ku mutende okukolaki oguddako.
Era bwe tuba tugenda kwawe tusobola okujjayo amaliri then tusobola okugumalira ewaka nga tunniirwa ewaka naye kwawe essuubira nti tunaagujjayo omupiira.
Naye batakyusa ttiimu nga genda samba bwetyo nga tusobola kuva luzira ayinza okuba golo nga 2 era ne tuva wano omupiira ne gugaana.
Well, guys, you've heard it from the fans, quite hopeful. They know that KCCA FC has got to just progress from the round of 16 to the quarterfinals, to the semis, and then to the finals, and also take the Uganda Cup title. That is the 11th title. So, guys, we're going to be going to a break. When we return, we have the build-up ahead of the big one. That is KCCA FC vs Vipers at the MTN Omondi Stadium, Sunday, 4 p.m. What a huge game we have in prospect. Everything after this break. Now welcome back from that break, and just when you thought we are done yet, we are just not done yet because we have a bone to pick. Someone has a debt to pay with us this week, I should say, just to put it out well, guys. Someone has a debt to pay with us this week because we're going to be hosting Vipers at the MTN Omondi Stadium. And definitely, when I talk about KCCA FC Vipers, you know, I mean, what a huge game we have in prospect. Just like I said, it's quite a big game because if you remember in the first round, that was the last game of the first round when KCCA FC visited Vipers at Chitende, that game ending 1-0, many, and just like I said, many think that ball, the goal that Vipers got in that game did not cross the line. Many people having, different thoughts. You can also have your own opinion. Definitely, KCCA FC TV show brought that goal. We'll keep bringing that goal to you, and then you'll have your own opinion for this one. But that is all gone. We'll not cry over spilled milk, because in this one, that is at the MTN Omondi Stadium this Sunday at 4 p.m. KCCA FC will be hosting Vipers. And just to give you some nice things about this fixture. We've all seen what has happened, between KCCA FC and Vipers this season. If you remember their recent games, they have not really also been having a good run. You might see them above us, about 9 points. That is on 46 points. But they've not been having a good run. We know what the Red Eagle went and did when they swallowed the Viper. That was just a few weeks ago. And and then also them coming up to draw, that is against Wakiso Giants at home. And they also just picked a recent result that was in Busia against Maida Football Club. So, ahead of this one, definitely, they've also not been doing well. And just like KCCA FC, we've also had a stop and start season, going to Onduparaka to pick 3 points, coming at home and losing 2-0 to Bright Stars, and going to Mbara City and picking a 0-0 result there. And then, winning 3-0 against Bull Football Club. That was the first game of the second round. And then also going to URA and losing 2-0. So we have also had a start and stop. So all that away, all focus is on this one. And just to give you some of the statistics and the enticing stuff ahead of this one, we'll start with the head-to-head between both teams, that is KCCA FC and Vipers. In the last 22 games played between these ones, KCCA FC have won 6 times. And Vipers have won 10 times, so they have the edge in this one. Both clubs sharing spoils 6 times. And then if you're to look at the goals, KCCA FC has scored 25 goals in the last 22 games played against Vipers Football Club, while Vipers have scored 29 goals in the last 22 games played against KCCA FC. If you're to look at the points, KCCA FC has 24 points in the last 22 games played against Vipers, while Vipers have 36 points in the last 22 games played against KCCFC. So you got to feel that the numbers are in favor of Vipers ahead of this one. But this is a different affair, because if you're to look at some of the players that have played for both teams in the past or even currently, we'll start with Ashraf Mugume, joined the club this season as a free agent, has played for Vipers before, and is hopefully will be part of that squad that is for KCCFC. And then look at players like Kezron Chizito, played for St. Mary's Chitende, played for Vipers, went out for professional football and is now playing at KCCFC. And then when you also look at that Vipers squad, there are players like Shaban Muhammad, who have played for KCCFC and are also part of that team. So you get to feel, and quite a number of other players like Andrew Kawoya, the youngster, who is yet to play a game this season, played in the under-20 team that is with coach Mole Biekwaso, that is in Mauritania, where the under-20 team made it up until the finals and getting up the runners-up medal. So he's also from Vipers, played for their junior team, played for the school. And also players like Steven Serada and Charles Wanga, who play for St. Mary's Chitende. That's why they have their education, but they're players at KCCFC. So you get to feel those small things are going to have a lot to decide in this game. And then there was already been started, that is on social media, KCCFC saying all they have got to say, because I mean, we're at home and we've got to have the bragging rights. And then the noisy neighbors from the other side coming up also to feel that they can come to Lugogo and pick a result. But we have all this to settle. That is this week at the MTN Omondi Stadium on Sunday at 4 p.m. But still more about this game, and just to give you some of the results that have happened between KCCFC and Vipers in the past. This season, Vipers won 1-0. That is the game happening on the 17th of March 2021. And then on the 18th of February, that was last year, Vipers and KCCFC playing out a 0-0 draw. The game happening at St. Mary's Stadium, Chitende. And also on the 16th of November 2019, KCCFC grabbing a 1-0 win. That was at the MTN Omondi Stadium. That goal scored by Muzamiri Mutiawa, who has since left the club. A powerful shot in that one, and that had to silence the noisy neighbors. On the 4th of April 2019, KCCFC sharing spoils with Vipers 1-1. I mean, a couple of good results. 3rd November 2018, Vipers and KCCFC playing 1-1, the game happening at Chitende. Then 8th of June 2018, if you remember, the Stanbic Uganda Cup final for that year, the game ending 1-0. The game was in Bukedea, and Julius Poloto scoring that goal early in first half that gave KCCFC the 10th Uganda Cup title. And finally, in 2018, that was 27th April, Vipers winning 3-2. That is against KCCFC. That game happening at St. Mary's Stadium, Chitende. If you remember, that is the game that brought out the Beauty and the Beast, Tadeo Luanga, and then one Alan Okedo. If you remember all the words that were said around this player. So you get to feel a huge game in prospect we have, guys, because it's really a huge game we have in prospect. Quite a big game. Vipers lie second on the Star Times Uganda Premier League with 46 points. That is just 9 points ahead of KCCFC. And KCCFC have 37 points from 21 games. It is simple. KCCFC win this one and they get to 40 points, just 6 points behind the second team, that is Vipers, who won 46. And then URA, who lie first on the Star Times Uganda Premier League table with 47 points. So a lot to play for this game. But ahead of this one, we caught up with very many people, the players and also the fans. But first, a lot of stuff said by the fans ahead of this game. So here are the fans. Take a look.
Viper yo twafuna na embiranyi okusinga kale embiranyi ya Viper eri wakati na andi ne Villa. Naye naffe tulina embiranyi yayo. Olw'ensonga n'omupiira gwe twagenda ekitende. Goolo eyo gye baatukuba gye tweteba kale tetwagikakasa kubanga ffe nga ffe abawagizi twalaba nga tesaze layini. Naye volume bagamba nti omupiira ukoze eki gusaze layini ne batubba nze nkitwala nti baatubba. Naye kati ng'eyo ttiimu ennene buli musambi yenna ayagala nnyo okulabikira ku ttiimu ennene. Wadde bakola bwe balina ebizibu naye baagala nnyo okulabikira ku ttiimu ennene. Abeera n'essuubi erigamba nti oba naamugula bamutwale muweri kiraabu, oba naamugula bamulabe abalala baagala omugula agende, gompiya guba gwa kalango.
Owabe yatukuba twasamba bulungi naye saawa zino ttiimu bwesamba eyaffe saawa bwesamba omupiira gwegenda otuwa nkakasa tuyinza obutagiwona eyinza otukuba emuziro oba amaliri. Naye bwe tukyusaamu nsamba yaffe n'abasambi abamu bwe babakomyewo abamu abasobola otuyambako mu maaso nga baanuka n'abasiga ne bakomawo. Tusobola okuba Viper goolo ng'emu ku bwereere kuba kanso zaawo sifa abateeba nnyo kudada ku ttiimu ezo ennene zitukaluubirira.
Omupiira gwe twasamba mu first round bwe guba nga tugenda okusumulula kati Vipers ajja tuzaalamu n'omwana. Tugenda kusumulula 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 Vipers aj kubesa mbadde nalabye match ya Vipers Yunus Sentamu omusajja ali ku fomu ya bulamu bwe bw'otunuulira City Council essaawa zino tosobola kugamba mbono yasukkulumye ennyo ku banne tetulina musambi asukkulumye ennyo ku banne abasambi bonna bonna abasinga bali average otunuulira omwana gwe twesigamyeko Neymar Lwanga ne Anaku bana bato tiimu yaffe ebulamu ne maturity kintu kino ekyokugjawo bamaike bombi omulundi gumu sekisambu bonna ne bagenderera mu sizoni emu ndaba kikyatukoza nnyo tiimu terina maturity yadde abaana bonna tebalina muntu abakuumi tebalina morale eyo okubakuumira wamu ne beefaako okusamba mupiira
tuza okuba M0 ku Viper
gompiira gwa Viper tetusobola n'olugogo tujja kumukubira omupiira mulamba tujja mukuba golo 2-1.
Well, guys, you've heard it. Those are the fans of KCCFC giving their take, that is their expectations ahead of next week's Start Times Uganda Premier League game between KCCFC and Vipers at the MTN Omondi Stadium. That game will be on Sunday at 4 p.m. Guys, don't miss this one. So that's been it about the show this week. Remember, we told you that KCCFC now has 37 points from 21 games and also lie fourth on the Start Times Uganda Premier League table. There's still a lot to play for, guys, because we also gave you the highlights from last week's game on Sunday. That's between KCCFC and Oduparakawe in Arua. And we also told you everything about the round of 16 between KCCFC and Maroons in the Stanbic Uganda Cup. And also, we'll be back next week to bring to you everything as it unfolded between that game, KCCFC and Vipers at the MTN Omondi Stadium. The noisy neighbors will hear about it. I tell you, the noisy neighbors will hear about it. Now, that's all about the show tonight, guys. But first, shout out to one Robert Mulamule, who held up and made sure the show kept elevating for the past 1 month when I was away. Top stuff from you guys, fantastic stuff. And I should tell you, the KCCFC TV show keeps getting bigger and better. Guys, that's all about it tonight. Season 2, episode 22. We'll be back next week and we'll be telling a different story. My name is Magero Mwanje. Have a good night.